Unpredictability affects dogs in several ways, both from a behavioral and welfare standpoint. Being creatures of habit, dogs thrive on routines and predictability. When there are abrupt changes in their lives, dogs may develop stress and anxiety as a result. Since dogs depend on us for stability, it's important that we take steps to prevent disrupting our dog's sense of safety and security by providing them with a stable and predictable environment. Unpredictability affects dogs in many negative ways, and too much instability may even pave the path for behavioral problems. Newly rescued dogs and old dogs may be particularly vulnerable to changes, and when exposed to unpredictable situations, they may struggle to cope with their anxiety and stress, which may lead to reactive and destructive behaviors. How do we make life unpredictable to dogs? We may not be aware of it, but we often fail to provide our dogs with the predictability they so much thrive on. We often take dogs for granted and assume they do decently well coping with changes, when they often do not. We often subject dogs to stressful events without being aware of how these situations impact them. Following are several examples of circumstances that may negatively impact dogs. 1. Inconsistent routines. Dogs thrive on routines and are naturally drawn to knowing what happens next. Knowing when their feeding times, walk times and play times happen allows them to feel secure and happy. Knowing what to expect and when helps dogs feel more comfortable and relaxed in their environment, especially dogs who are prone to being anxious or nervous in new or unfamiliar situations. 2. Abrupt intro of unfamiliar people, animals. How would you feel if a total stranger suddenly and without warning planted himself in your home expecting to be your guest? Not well for sure. That's how dogs may feel when we come home with a new baby, a guest, or a new pet. Although dogs are social animals, they tend to need some time to acclimate to new people or animals. A sudden introduction can trigger anxiety and stress in sensitive dogs, which may lead to behavior problems such as urine marking, destructive behavior, and even signs of aggression. 3. Exposure to unfamiliar environments. Dogs are most comfortable when they are in places they are familiar with. Although moving to a new place or travel doesn't impact dogs to the extent of cats, they too can suffer when placed in unfamiliar environments. Sure, if you and your family come along, that can help them a whole lot in adjusting, since you help provide them with a sense of familiarity, but the whole move can still prove stressful nonetheless. 4. Inconsistent training. Dogs need clear and consistent instructions when it comes to training. If you allow your dog on the couch most of the time, but then you don't, such as when your dog is wet from coming back inside from the yard when it's raining, this will only create confusion and even anxiety in your dog. 5. Unpredictable use of punishment. When you attempt to correct your dog's undesirable behavior through punishment, this can backfire. From your dog's perspective, your behavior will seem unpredictable since he was not previously punished for the behavior. On top of this, certain types of punishment such as alpha rolling or growling at dogs can frighten dogs and make them act aggressively in an attempt to protect themselves, explain board-certified veterinary behaviorists Dr. Lori Bergman and Lori Gaskins. How does unpredictability affect dogs? When dogs are exposed to unpredictable routines and situations, their bodies may be bombarded by the release of stress hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline. Over time, this can lead to cumulative, chronic stress, which can have negative effects on their health and well-being. From a behavioral standpoint, stress can cause dogs to behave in uncharacteristic ways. Owners may not always recognize a dog's signs of stress, and may interpret their dog's behavior as being naughty, acting in spite or jealousy, and seeking revenge. Following are ways dogs manifest their sense of unease or anxiety when dealing with unpredictability in their lives. 1. Destructiveness. Affected dogs may start engaging in destructive behaviors such as chewing, scratching, and digging. These behaviors are a dog's way of coping with their anxiety and stress. 2. Hyperactivity. Many dogs respond to stress by becoming more active. Dogs may therefore act restless by pacing, scratching themselves, jumping, licking, and panting. 3. Aggression. Dogs who are stressed may engage in aggressive behaviors such as growling, barking, and snapping at new people or pets. These dogs are simply trying to protect themselves from perceived threats. 4. Displacement behaviors. When dogs are affected by stress, They may exhibit a variety of displacement behaviors as a way of coping. Displacement behaviors may include out-of-context behaviors such as a sudden urge to drink, scratch an itch or yawn. 5. Withdrawal. Some dogs may become more withdrawn as they feel stressed. They may seek isolation and become reclusive as a result of their emotions. Does unpredictability affect all dogs the same way? No. Every dog may react differently, considering that every dog is an individual. Dogs of different ages, sex, breeds, temperaments, and with different past experiences will therefore have their own unique way of responding to unpredictable situations. Some dogs are more resilient and capable of bouncing back from changes and unpredictable situations. Others may be more sensitive and prone to stress and anxiety. For instance, dogs who have been bred to have good temperaments and have been socialized well, having had many positive experiences with new people, animals, and environments, may grow up to be more confident and less anxious in unpredictable situations compared to others. If your dog is prone to becoming stressed in unpredictable situations, always pay attention to how he or she reacts and do your best to provide more structure and predictability in their daily routines. How to provide more predictability in dogs' lives. If your dog is prone to becoming stressed when his life gets topsy-turvy, following are several ways to help make life less unpredictable. Stick to a routine. Provide your dog with the reassurance of a daily schedule with set times for feeding, exercising, sleeping, and other activities. Use familiar cues. Provide your dog with familiar and consistent cues, words or gestures, that inform him what will happen next and what you expect from him. Make sure your whole family is on the same page and uses the exact same cues. Provide enrichment. Games, toys, walks, opportunities to sniff, food dispensing puzzles can all help reduce stress and build the owner-dog bond. Provide a safe environment. Make sure your home helps your dog feel secure and safe. Create a quiet area for sleeping, eating, and playing. Protect your dog from loud noises. Use noise machines to buffer, and avoid anything that may startle your dog. If new people or pets need to be introduced, do so very gradually, possibly introducing them on neutral grounds and working on creative positive associations. Embrace positive reinforcement. Use positive reinforcement training to encourage desirable behaviors and allow them to strengthen and repeat. Train your dog to sit before being fed, pet, allowed out of the door. This helps establish predictability and encourages a clear communication method, similar to teaching children good manners by asking them to say, please, for anything they want, further suggest Dr. Lori Bergman and Lori Gaskins. The bottom line. Many dogs are subjected to unpredictability in their lives, and this can negatively impact them. By establishing a predictable routine, relying on consistent cues, and using positive reinforcement training, it is possible to provide vulnerable dogs with a safe and comfortable environment. With more structure and predictability in their daily routines, dogs can finally feel more secure, happy, and well-adjusted. A win-win situation for all.